So I think I'm going to stick with the Labradors as the opening slide. I really liked those chocolate coffee banana muffins I made last week, and I liked having them around for breakfast, so I decided that I needed to make some more breakfast muffins. So these are cranberry yogurt muffins. I've probably been making these 20 years or more, and they are spectacular. So here's the mix: a couple cups of AP flour, half cup of sugar, a teaspoon and a half of baking soda, half teaspoon of salt to go with that, 4 tablespoons of butter that will melt, a couple of eggs, a teaspoon of vanilla, a cup of plain yogurt. You can use vanilla yogurt in a pinch, but plain is really better. And then some whole cranberries. That's about a cup and a half, maybe a cup and 3/4. I didn't really measure. Okay, the dry ingredients are going to go into one bowl, and we're going to do that half teaspoon of salt, followed by the teaspoon and a half of baking soda, and then the flour and the sugar, and then we're going to whisk to combine. Time for the wet ingredients. You can see that the butter has magically melted. 30 seconds in the microwave does wonders for that. After the butter is going to be that cup of plain yogurt. After the yogurt's going to be the teaspoon of vanilla, and then we're going to plop a couple eggs in there, and then that's going to spend a little time with the paddle attachment on my stand mixer. So before we introduce the wet ingredients, we want to introduce the cranberries to the dry ingredients so they can be all nice and coated and dry. So we're just going to dump them in and fold that together until everybody's nice and coated. So retrieve the wet from the mixer, and you can see it's all nice and together now. Just pour that in with the dry, and then we're going to fold all this together until all the dry becomes wet. And this is going to be a pretty thick, sticky batter. So it's not going to be something you can pour. You're going to have to spoon out. So time to press the large muffin tin back into action. Spray that down with some non-stick spray so we don't get a lot of sticking. And then it's time to start bringing this batter into the tins. Again, I'm going to use my half cup measure as a way to just grab a big hunk of batter. Each one's probably a little bit more than half a cup. As you see, they're going to be sort of large sized. 20 minutes at 375, and here's your result. Get a little bit of browning on top, and they're pretty much done. Get them onto a cooling rack. Give them at least 15 minutes before you try to cut into them. And then when you do, you get my friend Babish's, I say my friend, I don't know him, but you get the cutaway, and these things are awesome. So we close with the Labradors too. These things are just a little bit sweet. It's only a half cup of sugar and plenty tart because it was a good cup and a half of cranberries. I do recommend you try this. It's super easy. It's just as easy as it looks.